Good morning, students. Today we will discuss the topic positive operators. So let us take a complex Hilbert space denoted by H, and let us take the set of all bounded self-adjoint linear operators on H. And on this set, we define a partial ordering relation by defining T1 is less than or equal to T2 if and only if inner product of T1x with x is less than or equal to inner product of T2x with x for all x belonging to H. So this is the symbol T1 less than or equal to T2. It means inner product of T1x with x is less than or equal to inner product of T2x with x. Next we define what is positive linear operator. So a bounded self-adjoint linear operator T from the Hilbert space H into itself is said to be positive if and only if inner product of Tx with x is greater than or equal to 0 for all x belonging to H. If the operator T is positive, we use the symbol T greater than equal to 0. So T greater than equal to 0 means T is positive linear operator. So the main condition for the positive linear operator is that T should be self-adjoint as well as bounded. Only then we can define T to be a positive operator with this condition. Now, next we do a theorem based on the product of the positive operators. So the theorem is, if two bounded self-adjoint linear operators S and T on a Hilbert space H are positive and they commutes, then their product St that is also positive. So in order to prove that St is positive, by definition we are to prove that inner product of Stx with x is greater than or equal to 0 for all x belonging to H. Now if S is 0, then we have nothing to prove in this case because the result holds trivially in this case. So let us take as not equal to 0. Now we proceed in the theorem in the two steps. In the first step, let us define S1 by dividing the operator S by its norm. Because S is non-zero, so its norm will also be non-zero. So we can define S1 by dividing S by its norm. And also let us take Sn plus 1, which is defined by the difference of Sn with Sn square. Here n is natural number. Now in the first step we prove by induction that Sn is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to I. Sn greater than or equal to 0 means Sn is positive operator. Now in the second part, in the step B, we prove that inner product of Stx with x is greater than or equal to 0 for all x belonging to H. Now first of all we prove the part A. In the part A we prove that Sn is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to I. So we prove it by induction. Now for the first step in the induction, let us take n is equal to 1. Now for n is equal to 1, because S is positive operator, so by definition S is greater than or equal to 0. And S1 is defined by S divided by S norm. Now because S is positive operator, so S1 will also be positive. It means S1 is greater than or equal to 0. Now next we prove that S1 is less than or equal to I. So in order to prove S1 is less than or equal to I, we will have to prove that inner product of S1x with x is less than or equal to inner product of Ix with x. So let us consider inner product of S1x with x. Now substituting the value of S1 is S divided by norm of S. Substituting the value of S1 here and taking 1 upon S norm outside the inner product. Inside we have inner product of Sx with x. Now we can use Cauchy-Squarz inequality. So by that inequality, inner product of Sx with x is less than or equal to Sx norm into x norm, and in the denominator we have S norm. Now also because S is bounded linear operator, so by definition of boundedness, norm of Sx is less than or equal to S norm into x norm. So we can replace Sx norm by S norm into x norm. So this will be further less than or equal to x norm square. Now x norm square means inner product of x with itself, and x can be written as identity of x because identity of x is again x. So we have obtained x norm square is equal to inner product of Ix with x. Thus we have proved that inner product of S1x with x is less than or equal to inner product of Ix with x. So by definition of the partial ordering which we defined already, we can say that S1 is related to I. It means S1 is less than or equal to I. So this proves the result for n is equal to 1. Now let us suppose that this result holds for n is equal to k, and we prove that the result holds for n is equal to k plus 1. Now by induction step, because the result holds for n is equal to k, so we have Sk is greater than equal to 0 and less than or equal to I. So from here we get I minus Sk is greater than equal to 0 and less than or equal to I. It means I minus Sk is positive operator and I minus Sk is related to I under the partial ordering relation which we defined already. Now because the operator Sk is self-adjoint operator, self-adjoint means the adjoint of Sk will be identical to itself. Now let us consider the inner product of Sk square into I minus Skx with x. Now this can further be written as Sk square means Sk into Sk. So one Sk can be taken here, that will become Sk adjoint, but Sk is self-adjoint operator, so Sk star will be same as Sk. So this can further be written as inner product of I minus Sk into Skx, its inner product with Skx. Now let us take Skx is equal to y. So this will become I minus Sk y, its inner product with y. Now because in the induction step we have taken I minus Sk is greater than equal to 0. It means I minus Sk is positive operator. So by definition of positive operator, inner product of I minus Sk y with y will be greater than equal to 0. So we have proved that Sk square into I minus Sk is positive operator, and similarly we can prove that Sk into I minus Sk square is also positive operator. Now by adding we get Sk square into I minus Sk plus Sk into I minus Sk whole square is greater than equal to 0. Now after simplification this will become Sk minus Sk square, and by our definition we have defined Sk minus Sk square, this is Sk plus 1. So we have proved Sk plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. By definition it means Sk plus 1 is positive operator. Now next we show that Sk plus 1 is less than or equal to I. It means sk plus 1 is related to I. Now, in order to prove this, now because sk square is greater than equal to 0 and also I minus sk is positive operator. It means I minus sk is greater than equal to 0. So, adding these two, we get I minus sk plus sk square is greater than equal to 0. Now, this can further be written as I minus sk square. Now, this is sk plus 1. So, we get I minus sk plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. It means sk plus 1 is less than or equal to I. So, this proves the step A of this theorem. Now, in the step B, we proved that inner product of st x with x is greater than equal to 0 for all x belonging to H. Now, we have Sn. We have defined Sn is equal to Sn square plus Sn plus 1. So, putting n is equal to 1 there, we get S1 is equal to S1 square plus S2. Now, what is S2? S2 is S2 square plus S3. Putting the value here, continuing like this and substituting the value of S3 here now and continuing, we get S1 is equal to S1 square plus S2 square and so on, Sn square plus Sn plus 1. Now, because Sn plus 1 is positive operator, we already proved it, Sn plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. So, we can say that S1 square plus S2 square and so on, Sn square, that is equal to S1 minus Sn plus 1, and this is further less than or equal to S1. Now, let us consider summation Sjx norm square. Now, by definition, norm square means inner product of Sjx with itself. Now, we can write by taking this Sj here, this will become Sj star, means adjoint of Sj, but Sj is self-adjoint operator, so Sj star will be same as Sj. So, this will become Sj square x, its inner product with x, and summation from 1 to n. Now, this is further less than or equal to inner product of S1x with x. So, from here, from the equation star. Now, from here, because n is arbitrary, so we can say that the infinite series S1x norm square plus S2x norm square and so on, this infinite series converges, and because the series converges, therefore, the limit of the general term that will approach to 0. So, from here we get norm of Snx approaches to 0 and also Snx approaches to 0. Now, let us consider summation Sj square operated on x. Now, from here summation Sj square is S1 minus Sn plus 1. So, putting the value here, now as n approaches to infinity, because Snx norm approaches to 0 and Snx approaches to 0. So, as n approaches to infinity, this term will approach to 0. So, we get summation Sj square operated on x approaches to S1x as n approaches to infinity. Now, because we are given in the statement that S and T commutes, and because S and T commutes, therefore, all the Sj, they will commute with T, because all the Sj, they are the sum and products of S1, and S1 is defined by S divided by S norm. Now, let us consider inner product of Stx with x. Now, substituting the value of S from here, S is S1 into S norm. So, putting the value here, S norm into S1, Tx, its inner product with x. Now, we can take this scalar outside of the product. So, we get S norm into inner product of S1Tx with X. Now because S and T commutes, so S1 and T also commutes, so TS1 can be written as S1T, S1T can be written as TS1. Now this can further be written as S norm into inner product of T of S1x with X. Now what is S1x? S1x is the limit of, here we have obtained S1x is the limit of this series. So S1x is equal to limit n approaches to infinity of summation j varies from 1 to n Sj square x. Putting the value here and taking limit outside of the inner product. So this can further be written as S norm into limit n approaches to infinity summation j varies from 1 to n inner product of T Sjx with Sjx. Now Sjx we have denoted by Yj. So this will become inner product of Tyj with Yj. Now because T is positive linear operator, it means T is greater than equal to 0. So by definition of positive operator, inner product of Tyj with Yj, that is greater than or equal to 0. So we have proved this expression is greater than or equal to 0. It means inner product of Stx with X is greater than equal to 0 for all X belonging to H. And by definition, this proves that the product St, that is positive operator.